feel like there's no way for me to move forward as a human being unless I just give up loving the mountains and give up loving elk and shed hunting. And it's so difficult for me to move forward. You know, here's the thing, right? Like I moved away from Billings as soon as I could afford to. I grew up farming, and farming didn't pay shit. I got one weekend a year to go camping, and that was the 4th of July. And I remember the year that I turned 18, instead of just being gone, you know, Friday afternoon, Saturday and Sunday, I stayed gone for a week. I couldn't take it anymore. I wanted my freedom. I was an adult, and I was like, I don't even care anymore. I'm gonna give myself this time out in the mountains. And, you know, truthfully, I destroyed my life doing that. My uncle was so pissed off at me, and everything went downhill from there because I gave up working for 1 week in the middle of the summer, the year that I turned 18. And that's when I realized that I needed to open my eyes, because these motherfuckers thought that they owned me. They literally fucking thought that they owned me. And so I started trying to develop myself as a person, and I started investing in myself and trying to learn things more than just how to do back-breaking work. I spent my entire 20s, you know, barely able to secure a living situation in Gallatin County. You know, I would work tons of overtime just to pay rent, you know, and I was so disheartened and so disgruntled until I was 24 in 2008 when everything went to shit. Yeah, I got laid off in August of 2008, and let me tell you, that was a really rough winter too. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I picked up a lot of roadkill that winter, and I shot any living thing that came down to the road. That's no bullshit. And finally, in the summer of 2009, I got an apartment, and I spent that whole time homeless. And I've been homeless multiple times. So, you know, and the thing about it is it's like, what do? You know, even back then, it was like I was making $12 an hour, and rent was $700-800. You know, I mean, you do the math. There was no money left over. So I became a plumber after working years as a concrete worker. I realized that if I had a license, then I could do a trade that was a little bit more unique and a little more special. Here I am. Here's the unique and special. I spend a lot of time alone, which probably isn't great for my mental health. I spend a lot of time hungry because there's just not shit around. Lonnie Gorder, you're absolutely right. You know, you pull into any of these little restaurants, and I mean, it's a plate designed for a tourist. you know? $56 for a fucking sirloin steak. Like, holy shit, man. So, I'm 42 and I feel like I'm living like I'm 24 again. And it just, I love Montana, don't get me wrong. It's beautiful to look at. But, you know, Montana's been chopped up and sold up to all the rich people, and nobody lets you, like, meat eater hunt, you know? And I don't mean Steve Ranilla meat eater. I mean, what a fucking joke that is. He lives right up the road from my grandpa. There ain't nobody along that corridor in Jackson Creek that has thousands of elk that will give you permission. My grandpa's lived up there longer than anybody else, you know. You can drive up through there and there's 3 or 4 old houses that have been there forever, and you can tell which ones they are, you know. He's 97, 98. He'll be 98 this year. I pray every day I don't live that long. I can't even imagine what Montana will look like when I'm 98. It's already gotten to the point, look, there's a herd of elk right there. Don't ask.